The COVID-19 pandemic turned the year 2020 into a nightmare for many people as they struggled with health, economic, and numerous other challenges. As of February 2023, the world has seen over 755 million infections and over 6.8 million deaths. But is that the worst nightmare? Since life began on Earth, humanity has endured many crises. In 1349, the Black Death wiped out half of Europe's population. In 1816, the year without a summer brought widespread crop failures. In 1914, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand sparked World War I. And the most horrific genocide, famine, and diseases during World War II. However, when asked which year was the worst for human life, medieval historian Michael McCormick, also Harvard University's chair of the Initiative for the Science of the Human Past, immediately answered, "That's 536." According to him, 536 marked one of the worst periods in human history, if not the worst. Hello and welcome to our channel and welcome to a video about the worst year in human history. In 536, dust storms and a mysterious fog spread across Europe, the Middle East, and parts of Asia, obscuring the sun with a grayish-blue haze. People lived in darkness 24 hours a day for 18 months, the beginning of a dark age. The sun shone, but with no brightness, like the moon all year round. People couldn't see their shadows at noon for 4 seasons, as if there were a veil covering the sun. Millions had to breathe thick, suffocating air, almost blinding. In 536, snow fell in the summer in China, leading to the coldest decade in 2,300 years. Plants need light for growth and survival, so the prolonged absence of sunlight significantly affected crop yields, leading to widespread famine worldwide. In Ireland, where the fog caused a horrifying famine from 536 to 539, the period was called the barren bread, as bread was the main food then, but there wasn't enough for the people. Famine continued in the following years and is believed to explain why Scandinavian nobility hoarded gold during the late migration period. They saw gold as an offering to appease the gods and bring back the sun's light. Many stories in Norse mythology about eternal winter and the Ragnarok apocalypse were based on cultural memories of this event. The decline of Teotihuacan, a prominent ancient city in pre-Columbian Mesoamerica, is also linked to a drought after the climate change period in 536 with signs of civil unrest and famine. 536 was just the beginning. Survivors of the long, cold darkness of 536 and 537 faced even harsher years ahead. In the early years AD in the West, the mighty Roman Empire dominated vast territories around the Mediterranean in Europe, North Africa, and Western Asia. The history of the Roman Empire spanned 1,480 years, starting from 27 BC. When Augustus became emperor and ending in 1453, after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, the Eastern Roman Empire continued to develop into a powerful empire known as the Byzantine Empire. In 527, Justinian I became emperor with the intention of reclaiming the former territories of the Western Roman Empire. He and the talented general Belisarius conquered the Mediterranean, restoring much of the Roman Empire's former influence. The Byzantine Empire, situated between Europe, Asia, and Africa, became the main hub of the Silk Road and a major trading center. People from all over the world flocked there for trade. However, this was also one of the reasons for the largest pandemic in European and human history. After volcanic eruptions changed the climate in 536, creating a favorable environment for diseases and food shortages due to sudden cold in many areas of Europe, weakened people's immune systems, making them more susceptible to pathogens. Unstable weather, failed agriculture due to missed seasons, and swarms of mice in the Ethiopian region of Africa began migrating, sailing from East Africa to the Eastern Roman Empire, and parasitic fleas on these mice also followed them, spreading disease along maritime trade routes through inland ports, from the Mediterranean region of the Byzantine Empire to Muslim territories in southwestern Europe. Ultimately, the pandemic spread across Europe, causing the Justinian plague. Starting from ulcers on the palms to the point where the sick couldn't walk, the ulcers burst and pus flowed, and when the disease finished in Constantinople, the city began to smell with piles of weak corpses. Emperor Justinian ordered the corpses to be removed from the city, but this seemed to make more people sick because moving these corpses was done by healthy people. Between 20 and 50 million people died after the initial outbreak. The pandemic repeatedly erupted in different parts of the Mediterranean. Throughout the second half of the 6th century, the entire 7th century, and the first half of the 8th century, although Justinian completed the conquest of North Africa, all of Italy, and part of the Iberian Peninsula in 554, thereby restoring much of the former Mediterranean influence of the Roman Empire, the pandemic had significant political implications for the Byzantine Empire, blocking the ambitious restoration of the Roman Empire by Emperor Justinian I. So what caused the global cooling phenomenon? According to McCormick, 536 heralded one of the worst periods in human history. It began with a volcanic eruption early in the year in Iceland, a discovery he and ice core researcher Paul Majewski made while surveying the Swiss ice core region. When a volcano erupts, it spews sulfur and other metals into the atmosphere, where they form a floating haze, creating a natural sunlight-blocking layer that deprives Earth of heating. Analyzing 2,000 years of natural disasters from samples taken from a 72-meter deep ice core in Iceland, scientists found traces of tiny volcanic ash and dust particles by X-raying molecules to identify their chemical traces, discovering a chemical match with glass molecules previously found in lakes as well as swamps in Europe and a type of ice in Greenland. It can be concluded that a powerful volcanic eruption in Iceland directly ignited the darkest days of Europe. In 536, with the help of wind and weather, volcanic ash was dispersed, mostly in Europe and spread across Asia. And that's the story of the worst year in human history, as well as many other disasters whose causes made 536 worse and worse. This disaster and many others will be lessons that humanity needs to remember. Of course, the worst time in history for each person depends on who you are, where you live, and when. The truth is, we can't predict when disasters will occur, but actively seeking knowledge and preparedness will make it easier for humanity to cope with future events. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Thank you very much and wish you all the best.